I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and well, dang! It was pretty good. Freddy is notably pretty silent in this movie, and that's a courtesy I don't think I'll be extended in future sequels, so for now, I'll appreciate the peace and quiet. The movie opens with Freddy making his iconic knife glove, and that made me realize he made that while he was still alive, before all the dream demon whatever situation was. So apparently Freddy's hobbies always included arts and crafts. Pinterest would have been a disaster. This movie starts with poor Tina getting harassed by Freddy in a dream, and when she talks to her friends the next morning, we learn that they've all been having the same dream. So maybe it's just me, but if I found out my entire friend group was sharing the same nightmare in high school, I'd have probably had a bigger reaction than just, huh, weird. These kids shrug it off like somebody just said they all had the same math homework. And yes, Johnny Depp is here, but honestly, I don't really care. I care about Heather Langenkamp. She is phenomenal. She absolutely makes this movie. She's got this ethereal Alice in Wonderland quality to her acting that fits perfectly with the dreamlike atmosphere. She also has the babiest baby face imaginable and somehow still convinces me she's the toughest person in the room. She plays Nancy like an absolute badass. When Timu Kaniki pulls a knife because I guess that's just how he communicates, Nancy simply walks over and takes it away from him like he's a toddler holding scissors and carries on with her day. Icon. So, Freddy starts murdering this friend group, beginning with Tina, in an amazing practical effects sequence that required an entire rotating room. This movie's effects don't always hit. Sometimes Freddy runs like a confused inflatable tube man, and sometimes his giant stretchy arms just look goofy. But when the practical effects land, they absolutely knock it out of the park. Rod, who looks like he wandered over from the set of Grease, witnesses Tina's death and immediately runs because, like, yeah, fair. How do you explain that to the police? Officer, the ceiling murdered my girlfriend. Nancy's dad is the police chief, and ooh, she lost the parent lottery, didn't she? Her mom is basically the poster child for 80s parenting, sleeping in yesterday's makeup, smoking indoors, treating liquor like orange juice. And her dad even uses her as bait because he's convinced there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for all of this. Outstanding parenting, guys, all the way around. Meanwhile, Nancy is the only person in town using her brain. She realizes she can be hurt in dreams. She realizes she can bring things back from dreams. So she naturally starts researching dream psychology and stockpiling coffee like she's prepared for finals week and booby traps her entire house. It's Home Alone if Kevin McAllister had PTSD and access to Rambo. After Freddy wipes out basically everyone she knows, Nancy finally corners her mom into telling the truth. Freddy Krueger murdered 20 children. 20! And somehow the legal system still managed to fumble the case. So the parents took matters into their own hands. Honestly, I'm struggling to be mad at them. That feels like the right answer. It's not their fault he turned into a dream demon. One thing I do find interesting is apparently Wes Craven originally intended Freddy to be explicitly written as a child predator, but backed away from that somewhat because of several high profile abuse cases happening in California at the time. The movie only ever calls him a child killer. Except there is so much uncomfortable imagery left in. Freddy climbing on top of Nancy in the bed, the bathtub scene, the phone with the tongue, ew. It's never stated outright, but the movie definitely leaves the implications lingering, and I think Freddy is creepier because of it. Eventually, Nancy does drag Freddy into the real world and proceeds to night trap him all over her house. Tripwires, exploding light bulbs, hammers. She even sets him on fire, which feels like adding insult to injury considering how he died. Then Freddy somehow sneaks back into the dream world by using Nancy's mom and riding her into the bed. Look, it's symbolic, probably. Nancy ultimately defeats Freddy by refusing to give him power. Except she doesn't. Because the movie immediately goes, actually, what if no? Which brings me to my little conspiracy theory. The movie begins with little girls in white dresses jumping rope while singing Freddy's rhyme. And then the movie ends with little girls in white dresses jumping rope while singing Freddy's rhyme. Same fog, same dreamlike atmosphere. So, I think we were always in a dream the whole time. Evidence? When Nancy gets the phone call from Freddy, she hasn't actually fallen asleep yet. So maybe the dream world is bleeding into reality, but maybe not. How many little girls in matching white dresses skipping rope does one town actually have? This movie is way better than it has a right to be. It is easy to understand why it's considered one of the pillars of the slasher genre. Freddy is genuinely creepy here, even if he occasionally runs like he forgot how knees work. Heather Langenkamp is Fantastic. Nancy Thompson has officially joined the top tier of final girls for me. Now, I just have to prepare myself for Freddie discovering he has a sense of humor. Ah.